We have got a lot to talk about, and very little of it is good, but let's dive into where I've been and what's been going on and what the hell happened in Rome. So as you know from the last video, if you watched it, if you haven't watched it, sort your life out, go back and watch it. I was heading into Rome with a pretty bad injury. I woke up about 2 weeks before the race and just couldn't put my socks on, and it was not great. And I was kind of hemming and hawing, as they say, about whether I would race or not. And even when we flew to Rome, first of all, I wasn't sure if I was going to go to Rome, but ended up doing that, got some drugs from the doctor to help me kind of get through it. And then even when we got to Rome the night before, I still wasn't sure how I was going to wake up the next morning and if I was even going to be able to race. But woke up that morning, didn't feel too bad, like not in comparison to what I was feeling the 2 weeks before. It was one of my better days, I guess you could say. So I just thought, fuck it, let's go out there and let's give it a bash and see what happens. And I thought it might be okay. And even got to the venue. It was looking really good. It was an amazing venue. It was huge, spread across 2 halls. We chilled out for a while and I started to warm up. And immediately when I started to warm up, I was like, God, I'm very warm here. I'm sweating a lot. So it was, by the time I got to race, it was 26 degrees outside. So it was very, very warm. So I knew that was going to play a huge factor as well. But even still, even with that, I had taken the tablets that morning the doctor gave me. My injury wasn't, my hip and glute weren't feeling too bad on the day. So secretly, I was confident. I was like, oh yeah, I can still go in here and set a PB. Completely like just mind gone. And I was going into the race with that mindset, which is great. But then the race began. So the race kicked off and we were straight out into running outside, which again was 26 degrees. But I decided before the race that I had spoken with Dean and Tom, and Tom in particular was like, listen, you can do 4:15 pace, no problem. So given the heat and everything, I was like, oh, I'm going to come out on this first lap at a 4:30 pace and just see how I feel. Completed the lap, felt pretty good. Got into the ski erg then and settled into my pace, which was about 156 per 500 for those of you who know about ski erg. And I got about 300 to 400 meters into the ski erg and thought, this is way more difficult than it should be. This is feeling a lot tougher than it normally should be. So I had to back off there to 2 minutes and even slightly above 2 minutes. So immediately there was a little red flag in my head thinking, okay, this is not a great start. I've come out at a conservative run pace, which I'm more than comfortable with. And even still, this ski erg was more difficult than it should have been. So this is not a great sign early on, but I'm going to keep trucking away anyway. So even coming out of the ski erg, I'll put a video of that somewhere beside me. I like moved out of the ski erg pretty quick. There was people in my way. I went around them. So I still wasn't too bad. Got out on that second lap. And it was kind of funny that every lap, I was saying this to Eve afterwards, you saw someone different, sometimes more than one person on the ground, either stretching because they were cramping or with a medical team. Literally every single lap, there was someone on the ground. And a lot of laps, multiple people. But did my second run, got back into the sled push then. And I was confident on the sled push. I was going to push halfway, take a short break, and then push the rest of the way. That's my strategy. It's worked great for me in the past. And the guy beside me, we just happened to be pushing at the same time, and he would count in on one push. So we'd take like 5-10 seconds. He'd go, okay, 3, 2, 1 and push. And then I would count us in on the next push. So we were keeping each other accountable. It went really well. And then finished the sled, same deal. I jogged out of the sled, but you had to jog down. And as I turned the corner, I don't know, like I just felt something in my body. I was like, I don't feel good here. And the runs went out onto run number 3. and the runs just gradually started to slow down. They stayed pretty consistent, but
the lie detector determined that was a lie.
They were nowhere near the pace they should have been, which makes sense with the heat. So got into the sled pull then, and the sled pull is something that a lot of people dread, but it's always a confidence builder for me because I just love it. I find it fine. I think just having done lots of pull-ups and single arm rows and stuff like that over the course of a lot of years, I don't find it, I'm not going to say I don't find it difficult, but it's certainly not a difficult station to me out of the rest of them, let's say. So I was going into that, did my sled pull and felt good. Ran out of the sled pull, felt pretty good. Got to the burpees. And burpees is something, again, I feel confident with. I go up onto one knee, I stand up, I jump, and it's rhythm, and I can do it no problem. Like, obviously, it hurts, but I'm okay with it. So I got 3 or 4 burpees in and immediately was like, I'm in trouble here. I don't have a lot in the tank. My fueling was good. I had a big breakfast. I had snacks before the race. So everything was on point there. But I knew at that point, I had kind of thought about it on the ski erg. I kind of thought about it coming out of the sled push. I was like, I don't really feel great here. But once I got like 4 burpees in and I felt I had nothing, I thought, I'm in trouble here. This is not going to be a good day. And from that point on, it took everything in me not to quit the race. And normally you get like maybe 1 or 2 moments during the race where you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? I want to quit. And you can just shake it off. But like 3 times a lap, I thought about it through every station after that. I thought about it. I just did not want to be there. I didn't want to race, but I just kept going, just kept kind of, I would get a little bit of second wind and then I would get another thought like that. But then there'd be a water station. I'd have a sip of water and I'd get another bit of second wind. And it was just kind of ebbing and flowing back and forth. And then we got into the rower. So the rower in general is kind of known as like an active recovery station where you don't really go hard. You go as hard as you can, but it's really an opportunity to kind of just take it steady and kind of get yourself ready for what's to come. So like the farmers carry, the lunges, the wall ball finish. So that's fine. I kind of had in my head, I was like, oh, typically I tend to row around a 2 minute per 500 pace or somewhere between a 2 and a 2:05. I got on that rower and I was at a 2:10, like straight away. So 5 seconds per 500 meters slower. And that was difficult to maintain. So if I didn't think I was in trouble at the burpees, I certainly knew at the rower, okay, I'm hanging on for dear life here. This is just what this race is going to be. I'm going to do my best not to quit. So finished the row, got out, got another run in, got into the farmer's carry. The farmer's carry actually, in comparison to a normal race, wasn't too bad. So it was a 2-lap effort. I did the first lap unbroken, put it down, I think, walked halfway, put it down, and then maybe put it down once more. So 2 or 3 drops, which is not great, but not horrendous either. So nothing really to report home there. Did another run lap and then got back to the lunges. And the lunges, you can see from the very start, my cadence is slow. So typically I would try and lunge, stand up, straight into the next lunge, straight into the next lunge. I was lunging, standing up, pausing for a second, lunging, standing up, and it was pain the whole way through. But eventually slogged through it and did my next run. Again, more bodies appearing as the runs went on, and got to the wall balls. And you'll see from the wall ball video, there's a guy beside me getting treatment, getting stretched out because he was cramping or whatever. There's someone off camera also with the medics in the wall ball. So everybody had the same experience in terms of the heat. So it's not exclusive to me. So struggled through the wall balls. I think it's 100 wall balls. I might have done 20 off the bat or 30 off the bat, and then 10s, and then even some 5s. And like, I was just completely blown up. I think it was actually, I must look back and check, but I'm pretty sure it was my slowest wall ball time ever. Even slower than my very first Hyrox, just because I had absolutely nothing in the tank. But crossed the finish line, I think in 1:13 something, and my previous PR was 1:12 something. So given everything that went on and a bit of hindsight, it wasn't too bad. Like, I know for a fact that I was in 106 to 108 shape. That's where I should have finished without injury and obviously without the heat. But it's just the way racing goes, right? It's never ideal conditions. So it was a strange one, if I'm honest. And when I say strange, I mean, it's a strange feeling to be incredibly disappointed, but incredibly proud as you've crossed the finish line. Like with everything that went on, I didn't know if I was going to race. I was in a lot of pain. And then the heat obviously just fucked everybody up. So the fact that I even got to the finish line, I was really, really proud. But also when I knew the kind of shape and time I could finish in based on training and based on numbers I was running in training and stuff like that. So there was disappointment there because I knew what I was capable of, and things out of my control. I guess the heat, being injured, you could argue that's somewhat in my control, but it wasn't like an injury where I had an impact or I fell or I did anything like that. It just kind of happened. I woke up one day and just couldn't put my socks on. So there was disappointment there. So it's a strange one to be proud and disappointed at the same time, but that's how the race went. But a lot has happened since then. You guys are just getting a grand tour of my house today. Say hi to Kevin and Kevin's family. So since then, obviously after the race, the injury got much, much worse. So lots of strong drugs, lots of consultations. The initial diagnosis is a glute tendinopathy, which is just a slow burner really to fix with rehab. Had an MRI done. Apparently there's a tear on my hip labrum. So it's not great. Like we went in October, what are we now, November 3rd. In October, we went to Portugal for a few days, and because it's, say, an hour drive to the airport, a 3-hour flight, and then an hour drive to where we were staying. So that's 5 hours of sitting. I woke up the following day and could not put my socks on, like could not reach. You couldn't have paid me any amount of money to reach my feet. It was that sore. So Aoife, shout out to Aoife, she had to put my socks on for me. And the same when we got back, like traveling home from Portugal the next day, I was fairly screwed. Outside of those things, it does seem to be improving. Like I'm doing my physio, I'm doing my rehab, I'm still training some upper body stuff. Zero running, zero cardio because sitting on the bike aggravates it. The ski erg obviously hinging forward and back, rowing, running out, swimming. I could probably do without kicking my legs, but then the rotation of the upper body kind of catches it a bit. So I'm very limited in what I can do, but what can you do but keep going? Like that, the hardest thing is mentally. Like I go through times where I'm just fucking sick of it and I'm like, God, I just want to train, I want to run. I love Hyrox as a sport, so I follow it a lot and I'm looking at other people, and it's amazing because I find it really interesting, but at the same time, it can be incredibly frustrating because I'm looking at these people thinking, look at these fucking assholes able to train and run around, and aren't they just brilliant? And just jealous that I can't do that. So for me, the toughest part of injury is certainly mentally, but it is, I think, heading the right direction. There are more and more days that are less pain, and more and more moments of days where I'm completely pain-free. So that's a positive. When I wake up in the morning is the worst time because obviously I've been lying down and I haven't had a full night's sleep since I got injured, because I typically sleep on my side. And I can't do that now. I'm sleeping with a pillow between my legs, and I also typically sleep on my opposite side. So maybe that potentially contributed, I don't know. So I can't sleep on that side. So I'm starting on my right side, I'm sleeping on my back, and I'm waking up a lot throughout the night. So that's been tough to manage energy and mindset wise. But I do feel like we're heading the right direction, and we'll know more kind of in the next 2-ish weeks. Hopefully it should really start to see some improvements, and we're going to reintroduce one session from a couch to 5K, start reintroducing like some box squats and some light RDLs. I'm not controlling this, a physio and consultant are directing me. So that's the plan moving forward, and we'll see. So the rehab road, or the road to rehab, I'm not sure, is underway. I'm going to get back doing these YouTube videos, but honestly, it was tough. I'm not going to lie. Like I didn't want to make them because I wasn't in a great place. So that's what it is. But I can't just show you guys the good stuff. It's important to be honest and upfront and show all sides of things. So yeah, it fucking sucks, but here we are. We will keep going. We will not give up. And yeah, hopefully you guys stay tuned for the journey.